I, Mujahid Zafar, welcome all the viewers on behalf of Siyasat. I'm sure all of you are reading in the newspaper and you are seeing a lot of advertisement about personality development and effective communication classes. And I know a lot of people get impressed by that and a lot of people notice those advertisements and come for the seminars. Now, today I would like to just give you a brief about what is personality development and why this is important for everyone to be a part of a corporate sector. Now, when I say corporate sector, it's not only a corporate sector, but whenever you go to any company, any interview, or whenever you meet anybody, it becomes essentially important that you should have a pleasing personality. I'm just talking about personality. We should also understand what is personality and how can we improve on personality. When I talk about personality includes various things. Personality includes your communication skills. Personality includes your body language. Personality includes your dressing sense. Personality also includes your confidence. Now, a combination of all these things can give you a good personality. Now, when I talk about communication skills, it's very important for you to have a convincing communication style, so that whatever you try to pass on the message, whatever you try to communicate to other person, it should reach with the right message. That's called effective communication. And when I say body language and gestures are very important when you communicate for anything. Why? Because they add value to your communication. Likewise, confidence. I always say that confidence is the key for any objective, is the key for any goal which you have as an aim for you. Now we should understand what is confidence. It's important because unless and until we understand what is confidence, we can never learn that. It's not something which you can get it through a medicine. You buy some medicine in the market and you become very confident. No, absolutely not. But we need to understand what is confidence. How can we get confidence? Now we feel that we have to become a doctor, we have to become an engineer, but at the same time we should also feel that we should have confidence in us, because that's the driving force which will make us to learn anything and everything in life. That's why before having a pleasing or convincing personality, we all should have confidence in us. And now confidence is not something, rocket science, but confidence is something which you will gain with a lot of practice and continuity in your work. I'll not talk about confidence, but I'll pay more attention to personality development, because nowadays what's happening is people are possessing technical skills, people have very good, knowledge of technology, but they lack in personality. Now it becomes a mandate for all of us to have a pleasing personality, and that's where we can make a difference to our jobs. Now, what do we understand by personality? As I have already told you, personality includes various things. Now we'll talk about each parameter in detail. As I told you, there are 4 important components which we have to pay special attention. Number 1, confidence. Number 2, body language and gestures and expression. Number 3, communication skills. And number 4, obviously, our dressing sense. Now, I strongly feel that whenever you go for any interview or any interaction, before you speak anything, the most important thing which shows your personality is how you are dressed. Now, we should always know that whenever we are going for any interview, any kind of situation, any kind of place, we should know what kind of apt dressing we have to do. Now, I always say that whenever we are going for interview, we have to find out a dress which can be apt to the situation. And people generally tend to wear a dark colored trouser and a light colored shirt. I completely agree with that. And apart from that, there is no inhibition or there is no point wherein they cannot wear something other than that. We can also wear something which is not a white shirt or a dark trouser. But we need to understand whether the dress which you are wearing, is that really relevant to that situation or not. Because apt and compatibility to the situation is really important. We have to understand, based on the location we are going to, what kind of dress we have to wear. So always ensure in mind that we cannot go to the interview by wearing a sherwani, because sherwani is up for marriages. Likewise, a girl cannot wear a ghangra or choli for interview, because that is again a marriage required dress. So we always need to ensure and understand that the dress which we are wearing is completely apt to the situation. So it's important that you wear the right dress for the right situation, because a good dressing sense can really impress the interviewer or anybody whom you're interacting with. So I feel that Dressing sense is very important for a pleasing personality. And it's not only dressing, now we need to go for the hygiene as well. Now we have to be too hygienic when we go for the interview because that shows your personality. When I talk about hygiene, we all need to ensure that we take proper bath in the morning and we are neatly dressed with completely ironed clothes, proper polished shoes. These are the things if we remember, I am sure we will have very good dressing sense. Apart from that, there is something called communication skills, which is a very important factor of a pleasing personality. When I talk about communication, it has to be very convincing or too convincing because that's where you create an impression on other person by your conversation style, by your dialogues, by your speech, by your language, by your verbiage. So whenever you are doing any kind of communication with anybody, please ensure that you use right words, you are pretty slow, you are not very fast, because unless and until whatever you're communicating, if that is not reaching the target audience, it makes no sense. So for that, there are a few parameters which you have to take into consideration. Whenever we speak, we have to speak slowly, we have to speak clearly, we should have proper eye-to-eye contact, we should have smile on our face because that can really make a difference. And obviously, your dialogue, your speech delivery should be good. You should be audible enough to the intended audience. That's where you make a difference. Now, I always talk about, communication. Why it becomes important? Because let's say you have good amount of technical knowledge, but if you don't know communication, if you don't know that language, it becomes a challenge for you to express your technical knowledge. And if you're not comfortable with the language, that technical knowledge would be of no use. So in order to do justice with that knowledge which you have gained through your studies, you have to ensure that you gain a command over language which is globally accepted. And I'm sure all of us know that English is one language which is spoken across the globe. And that is the only reason why we, despite of the fact that we belong to different region, different religion, we are able to communicate with each other. People from Maharashtra, despite their, regional lingo is Marathi, they can speak to a Hyderabadi, despite of the fact that Hyderabadi has got a strong dialect of Hyderabad. They speak and understand each other. Why? Because they know English. Likewise, you take people from different region. Despite of their strong regional dialect, they are able to communicate, pass on their ideas, messages, for the simple fact because they know English. So this is the due advantage, this is the due benefit of learning this language. And to make it more convincing, how do you do that? Very important question for us. Now we can only make a language convincing with few things. First of all, we should have good command over the language. Second thing, we should know what we are speaking. We should know the target audience. We should also know that how we have to talk to that person. Because if we have a balance of all these things, I'm sure you can always use effective communication with everybody. Now, I generally, talk about the language with the perspective of interview. Because most of the students, they come from different, some of them are from engineering, some of them are from aeronautical, they are from different streams. But ultimately, when they are going for their career, when they are going for a job, the most important phase is they have to go for an interview process. Now, when they have to go for an interview process, definitely they have acquired good amount of knowledge in their education career. But now, the challenge for them is to express this knowledge in the right manner so that interviewer get convinced and he or she should offer a good job. If you are not able to express your technical knowledge in the interview process, you might not be able to get a job. Now that's the point where people generally get disappointed, people generally go into depression. Why? Because they've studied for 14-16 years in a row and then they have technical knowledge, but now when it comes for a job, they are not getting jobs. And I always say that in life, try and fail, but don't fail to try. Because the day when you stop trying, you are dead, you are no more. And this is a bottleneck for most of us. We have to understand what is the solution to it. And that's where, these things take a pretty dominant place in our day-to-day life. We know that, okay, if we learn English, definitely we can we can communicate our thoughts and ideas to other person. Likewise, if we know the interview facing skills, then also we have that confidence, that due confidence in us. Yes, in the interview process, if you are going for any company, we can definitely answer to the best of their satisfaction level. And once the interviewer is satisfied, you can easily get a job. Now we know that if we have to survive in this world, we have to learn this language. Now learning this language is something we talk about communication skills or effective communication skills. As I told you, body language, gestures and expression, your confidence, and the way you talk. Everything is a part of good personality. So we need to understand and ensure that despite of our various education background, we should have a pleasing personality. When I say pleasing personality, it should be a good combination of your good dressing sense, your good amount of confidence, your body language, and your effective communication style. That will make you a different individual. That would definitely give you an edge over others. And I'm sure if you ensure that these 4 parameters you are improving on with your regular dedication and continuity on day-to-day basis, things would be yours. So just one thing we need to ensure that yes, we have to have a pleasing personality. In order to have a pleasing personality, these are the 4 areas where we have to improve on. Now in next classes, I will explain you in detail about good dressing sense. I would also explain you about how can we improve our communication and how can we become effective and convincing speaker. And I would also talk about interview etiquettes, and I would give you some brief outlining of how a good personality can make a big difference in any of the interview which you are going for. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll definitely come back to you with a new topic in coming days. Thank you so much.